Good day. It's still the 11th of June, and I'm going to talk about my former agency, DEA, specifically their training academy. And as I've said previously, there's two types of academies. There's the general package criminal investigator, which is done at Glencoe, and then you go on to specialized training. But the DEA and FBI have their own academies at Quantico, Virginia, and the marshals, who are not special agents, also have their own training program. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing in that it's just one-stop shopping. Sometimes it's a bad thing because they can add a little bit of extraneous material to the training program. How's that? Things that probably are not absolutely necessary, but they like to add it anyway. But my basic experience when I went is very different now. I was one of the first classes to go to Quantico, and our class had about a third of it drop out, and that was largely due to physical training, but also there was just a lot of the older agent recruits, those who were in their 31, 32, older, right? They found it much harder because of the environment that they were placed in. The DEA and the FBI training academies have totally different training environments. Okay, I just want you to understand that. The FBI Agent Academy, as I'll explain in a future video, it's a gentlewoman's academy. There's no yelling, there's no bad language, there's no harassment, really. Their job is to help you get through it. The DEA is a little bit different, okay? Now, yeah, they want you to get through it. And now the good news is you'll be in shape when you get there, otherwise you wouldn't get there at all. You have to pass the PT test. In terms of what is the training like? Okay, once you're in the academy, your academics are going to include two broad categories, legal and general. You're going to have academics every day of the week except Sunday. The legal includes constitutional law, what you would expect, search and seizure, when you can search, when you can't. The Controlled Substances Act, which you have to know inside and out. You also have to know the U.S. Code. The laws about interrogation, the case law and all that. Title III, which is wiretaps. The law regarding asset forfeiture. The laws regarding arrest. The laws regarding the federal rules of criminal procedure. And any other legal thing that you can, possibly think of that applies to DEA, you're going to have to know. Then there's the general academic, which involves the DEA report writing, which is really just the DEA reporting system. Hopefully you know how to write a report or you wouldn't be there. Interview and interrogation, drugs of abuse, classes on the drug cartels, used to be the organized crime, but now it's probably something else, probably more street gangs. The use of confidential sources, DEA policies and procedures, and similar things. And then the way you'll look at this is every morning you'll either do PT and defensive tactics or firearms. It alternates. So one day is heavy PT, the next day is firearms. And the PT sessions will be roughly the equivalent of what you would get at Marine Corps OCS. It's very hard. It's very fast paced. But again, if you can pass the PT test to get in, you're going to be fine. It was tough for my class because a lot of them couldn't pass the PT test. The raid training uses simunition, which is like plastic. It's a bullet that hurts. I've done it with my group, and it smarts when you get hit. And they do that to increase stress and realism. And then vehicle pursuit driving. And then, if that isn't enough fun, you get practicals in the evening, which begins about 6 in the evening. It begins with simple exercises. An instructor plays the role of an informant. You debrief them. Some butthole informant doesn't want to give information. You get the information out of them. You write up a report on it. They tell you the report's no good. This is what it's going to be. Okay, they're going to be on you the whole time. Okay, nothing you do is going to please them completely. But it progresses to surveillance and practice undercover buys and culminates in an FTX that involves like several days without sleep on prolonged surveillance. Now, your class will gel during this period of time. They're going to get along with each other. They're going to come to like each other. The ones who don't make it are going to drop out. And the instructors will come to, kind of gel with you as well. So the harassment gets better with time. tips to make it, you know. If you're there, you have the raw material to make it through. Number two, study, because if you don't pass the tests, if you fail 2 tests, you're out. So, but the only way you'll fail 2 tests is either you have Alzheimer's or, you know, B, you didn't study. But, you know, I could still pass the test, and it's been almost 40 years since I went through. Keep quiet, do as you're told, don't show disrespect. Now, for some people, that's easier than don't roll your eyes, don't accuse them of racism, just shut up and do what you're told, okay? Be prepared to put up with low-level harassment. Graciously accept criticism, okay? And show class. Don't whine, help others, and be respectful. Just, you know, keep your mouth and do as you're told, okay? Now, yes, you're going to be harassed. They're going to talk down to you. There's going to be shouting. I'm going to put a little video on right now. Okay, this is to illustrate. I mean, it's not funny, but it's to illustrate, you know, what I'm speaking of. You can pull up the article itself. But here's what I will say. Okay, I mean, do people get discriminated against because of their race in the DEA? Well, unless they've changed, the answer is no. Okay, and that's just not the case. Now, do they harass people in DEA Academy? Yeah. Do they verbally harass you? Yeah. Do they do anything they can to get under your skin? Yeah. So here's my advice, and you can take it or leave it, you know. But if you have thin skin, if you've been in the Marine Corps as an enlisted man, you're probably okay, you know. If you've been through something tough, if you worked in a state prison, you know, or a federal prison or something, or a county jail, but this isn't just the academy. This is your whole 20 some odd years. You're going to be dealing with, it's just, you know, the culture of the academy. It's practical jokes. It's insults back and forth between the agents. It's foul language. It shouldn't be that way, but it is what it is. And, you know, you're not going to change that. So this is my advice. If you don't like that kind of stuff, don't apply to the DEA, you know. Try to get in the FBI or something like that. But it is what it is. You know, cops are the way they are, and the DEA is the most coppish kind of federal agency, in my opinion, that exists. Okay, and what you've just seen is what that is, you know. You're going to get harassed in the training. Okay, no matter who you are, what color of your skin, they call you names. It's part of the DEA culture, pretty much. It shouldn't be, but it is. Okay, so if you are, you know, of a very thin-skinned person or a gentle persuasion, maybe this is not the job for you. I'm going to put one out on the firearms. Okay, so let's take a look at that.
Tactical reload. As you're kneeling. Go! Get that weapon in your... Step out.
As you can see, the firearms is probably the most difficult. You know, this is pretty intense. So it's a good program. It's a very strict program. The ones who have the hardest time are men who are and women who are in their 30s, I think. And that is because they don't want to put up with the BS. And so the bottom line is, if you come with the right attitude, if you're a strong person, by strong I mean not just physically but mentally strong, and if you're there, you have the raw material to make it. So just persevere, you know, try your best. and you're going to make it through. Okay, but again, it's going to require some mental toughness. Hope this was enjoyable, or at least informative, and my next one will be on the FBI Academy.